Noble Institute was founded in order to offer to the Christian community and beyond leadership training opportunities. Our primary focus is on the seasons of a man's life, how God, in His divine order, has established that as we grow over our 70 to 80 year lifespan, we have opportunity to be useful to God, to serve God in four distinct seasons, and each of those seasons builds one upon another from the beginning to the end.
And as we look at those four seasons within our lives, give us a short synopsis of each of those.
Well, the first season of life is the season of the scholar, the student. I use the term scholar in order to emphasize the idea of taking ownership of your studies, not waiting to be taught so much as to become a student of life and to go after the topics of interest with real delight. So the season of the scholar and the student is preparing for all of life, not just for getting a job and getting married, but for the responsibilities of eldership and serving in the local church, and also for the service to the community in the civil arena. And so we have the scholar in the first 20 to so years. Then you have the season of the householder. To the household, God has delegated the responsibility for the accumulation of various kinds of wealth, both children, biological wealth, as well as the material wealth of doing well for yourself by doing good for others. And as you manage your household for a season, that sets you up to be a prize in regard to the leadership of the local church. If a man can manage his own household well, then he has certain skills and pastoral capabilities that allow him to step into the role of leadership in the local church as an elder or a deacon. If he cannot lead his own household well, then how will he be able to lead the church of God? And then finally, the season of the elder is a season of oversight and pastoral care that sets one up to be able to be effective in reaching out and being a leader to the community at large, which would be the city father, the civil and the nonprofit ministries and opportunities to serve, and that's where you finish out. Those last 15 to 20 years of life can be times of leading the organizations that perhaps you've supported throughout your life, and now you get to actually be a part of the leadership governance of those things, whether it's civil or whether it's in the area of nonprofit ministry.
Of course, the question comes to mind in your observations in doing ministry, in reaching out to men and encouraging them in their God-given roles. I think we recognize that period of time where you're the scholar, people going to school, completing high school, college, whatever the case may be, then getting into that householder, I believe is what you called it. Those other two, it seems to me there might be a need for some help, if you will, in transitioning. Do you find that men maybe don't necessarily step into those last two seasons?
Right. Well, the local church, there are two kinds of problems in all four seasons of life. And the first problem is premature recruitment. Okay, where let's say you're a young person, you're in high school, and you are very responsible, very impressive. Your community begins to see you as a great employee. You could get hired away from school. You might not finish your educational season because you have these doors opening to you that make you, you're attractive as an employee. Likewise, you can get prematurely involved in a relationship with the opposite sex. You can end up dropping out of your educational season in order to become a family man before you're really ready. And that's premature recruitment. Well, that's obvious in the first season, but it also happens in the second season. A man is leading his family well. He's making a good living. His wife is content. His children are respecting him, and the church begins to view him as a desirable candidate, a prize for the ministry as an elder or a deacon or a member of committees and various ministries, and they could recruit him prematurely away from his responsibilities as a householder, with the result that at the time when he could have been really effective in those roles, he's being asked to resign because his children are unruly, his wife is bitter, his finances are in a shambles. He's no longer qualified for ministry. Why? Because he was encouraged to neglect the foundation for his responsibility and authority in the church. So we want to make sure that we honor the seasons of our lives as men and focusing our attention on the right things at the right time. But we also want others to respect the seasons of our lives and not prematurely recruit us, but at the same time, when it is time, to recognize that we've been preparing ourselves for these roles. And the community is crying out for leadership at all levels.
Yes.
We want to be able to do the right things at the right times and do it for the right reasons.